So, all right, guys, we got to get this one right. On three, we're going to say, welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts Put on Their Mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to Extraordinary Minds.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we back. And we back. And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that matters.
Now, before we get started with this episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this episode, share this podcast, and if you can, do me a favor, head on down to the review section and leave an honest review, because this podcast was dedicated to helping us become a better version of ourselves. And I don't know what that version is, but I know that just like we need a little bit more money, just like we need a little bit more sleep, just like we need a little bit more of anything in life, we deserve to be a little better than what we are right now. What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcaster with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thickpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind, your weekly podcast dedicated to helping you become a better version of yourself. Now, before we get started, I just really want to take a moment and just say thank you. And I feel like I've said thank you a couple of times throughout this season, but I feel like I don't say thank you enough. You know what I mean? Like 2 years ago, I started podcasting. And I had no idea what I was doing. I talk fast in my episodes. An episode that probably could have took an hour, I would do that in 15 minutes. You know what I mean? I was yelling. I couldn't find my pitch, my rate. I didn't understand it. The only thing that I really wanted to do was just clear my mind. And here we are 2 years later, and the episodes, they're downloaded. You know what I mean? The videos, they get shared, they get viewed, they get saved. And to have a platform, that's great and everything, but I really want to just take a moment and just say thank you to everybody that supported me. Like, thank you to everyone who took a chance with me when they listened to my episodes for the first time. Like, I'm truly grateful for that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So the episode for today is the art of getting your shit together. And before we get started with that episode, I really want to just unpack a couple of things. First things first, by definition, getting your shit together is simply proceeding in an effective way. But when we decide that we need to get our shit together, it's usually because we feel lost in life. You know what I mean? Like, there's never been a time where when I said that I need to get my shit together, I was in a positive state. You feel me? Something went wrong. Something wasn't going according to plan, or I felt like as if I wasn't moving in the way that I was supposed to be moving, or I wasn't making the progress in which I thought that I would be making. And because of that, I started to say that I need to get my shit together. So just like what I said, like usually when people say that they need to get their shit together, it's because they feel lost in life. The stress is starting to get to them. The anxiety is starting to get to them. They're starting to feel overwhelmed in a current situation or a place. They may even feel stagnant in their goals. And it does not help, right? Like, it doesn't help that when you say that you need to get your shit together, that you go on social media, whether that's Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, or Instagram, and you see everybody else, and it just seems like all of a sudden everybody else is just making strides in they goals. They making leaps and bounds in the journey towards success. They buying houses, they getting married, they having kids, they showing their stock portfolios, and they're making you think like, damn, man, like I need to do something with my life. They telling us that we need to have, secondary incomes. You know what I mean? Like, they telling us all of these things, and it makes you think to yourself like, damn, I need to get my shit together. And then you keep scrolling, you see some people in the gym and they hitting it, they losing weight and they gaining muscle. And you say to yourself like, damn, I need to get my shit together. They buying cars, they wearing nice things like, damn, I need to get my shit together. You take the social media and then you add in the negative thoughts that go into the, I need to get my shit together. And now you feel you beating yourself up. And I may be saying you right now, but this is something that I used to do. And one thing that I had to learn about getting your shit together is that getting your shit together is just like taking your car in to get an oil change. Getting your shit together is just like when you have to go and get your monthly groceries. Getting your shit together is something that is just going to happen, especially when you are on that journey towards success. Just like when you are making progress in your life, you are always going to have a moment where you feel like you need to get your shit together. That's it. But the thing that's not good, man, is when we start to have these negative thoughts about ourselves. That's the problem. And I really want people to understand that just because you got to get your shit together, that don't mean that there is something wrong with you. And just because you feel like other people have their shit together, that don't mean that they are perfect. A lot of these people, and I'm going to just keep it 100 with you. A lot of these people, their lives ain't in the way that they supposed to be. They just make it seem like they are. So as we dive into this episode, I just want anybody that's listening to understand this. Ain't nothing wrong with having to get your shit together. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So now that we understand the why, what does getting your shit together look like for you? Now, for some, that may be peace of mind. Whether that's making peace in a current situation, maybe that's making peace in a current location, maybe that's making peace in a current position. I know for a fact that back in 2020, I felt like I needed to make peace with the current changes within my life. Maybe getting your shit together is taking a step back and getting your finances in order. You know what I mean? Like the stimulus checks done ran out and now you done maxed out your credit cards and you saying to yourself like, damn, I need to get my shit together. And ain't nothing wrong with that because now you are making so there's a certain level of accountability that comes with getting your shit together. Maybe getting your shit together is a relationship thing. You constantly find yourself in these fucked up ass relationships and you keep asking yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Maybe it's not even with somebody. Maybe it's a relationship with yourself. You don't know who you are when you're not around somebody. So you say to yourself like, damn, I need to get my shit together. And as I say that it may look like certain things, we say that getting our shit together is differently. We say that getting our shit together, it may sound like, when you hear somebody say, I'm doing the shadow work, I'm on the grind, I'm locked in, I'm tapped in. No matter how they say it, they just getting their shit together. The same way that it may look differently for somebody else. Now, just like what I was saying, getting your shit together may seem like you just reorganizing. Whether that's an internal or external thing. Maybe you refocusing. Maybe you realigning yourself. You got goals and aspirations and you currently feel stagnant in them. So you taking a step back and you looking at them and you're saying to yourself like, I need to get my shit together. For me, getting my shit together is just recharging. That's really what it is. Because I don't know about you, but I do have a tendency, right? Like I have a tendency to burn myself out. Like right now, I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm currently on leave. And it's been a minute since I've taken some leave for myself. Usually I'll take it for somebody else. Usually I take it because I got to go do a gig or I got to go somewhere. This time around, I simply just took it to recharge because I felt like I was getting burnt out. And for me, that was what getting my shit together looked like. Now the major question is how do I get my shit together? One thing that I really want a lot of people to understand is that it's not something that happens overnight. You know what I mean? Like when you say that you need to get your shit together, it's not something that is going to happen overnight. Like just like what I mentioned earlier, I took leave. And I know what people are thinking, like, as soon as you take leave, you start jotting down ideas, like you start reorganizing stuff. To be honest with you, as soon as I took leave, man, I came home and I just chilled out. I chilled out. I ain't go nowhere. I ain't do anything. I just chilled out. And I did that for like a week. And the reason why I did that for a week, and a lot of people don't understand is that like we're such in a hurry to get our shit together because we feel like we need to, that you don't even decompress from the current situation that caused you to have to get your shit together. You know what I mean? You in a hurry to do the shadow work from the relationship that you just got out of, but the reality is that you actually need to just take a time to decompress from that relationship. You focusing on trying to, get better in the gym, lose weight, gain muscle, or whatever that is in the gym, but you possibly just need to decompress for a second. You need to make goals and hurry up and get promoted, but you probably just need to decompress from the job for a little bit. The fact that I decompressed before I started making any changes The fact that I decided to decompress first before I did anything is what allowed me to be able to sit back and understand exactly what I needed to do. That's why I say, man, like, this isn't something that has to happen immediately. It will happen. You don't need to rush it. Once again, like, there's so many other ways to get your shit in order. You know what I mean? Like, to get your shit together, set up like a monthly or weekly routine with yourself. A couple of check-ins. Set some goals and say, every week set some week goals and say, like, these are the things that I'm going to accomplish this week. And then at the end of the week, have a progress report. Did I do these things? How did I talk to myself during this week? What were the boundaries that I had set, and did I uphold those? Another way to get your shit together, honestly, and I can't stress this enough, take them vacation days. Take them leave days. You will be amazed at once again, I cannot stress this enough. You will be amazed at who you are when you decompress. You will be amazed. Another way to get your shit together is just simply journal. Write down the thoughts that you have in your head. Rather than allow them to stockpile inside of your mind, just go ahead and write everything down. And I think the best one of all is to just make a plan. There's nothing wrong with having a plan and sticking to the plan. Yes, life is going to make a couple of changes within it, but to have a certain set of goals already set will help you get your shit together in the way that you want to. Now, one thing that we need to understand, though, is that when we making these goals, don't say that, don't have these vague ass goals. You know what I mean? Don't have these vague goals. Give yourself I hate having to say this word. Specific goals. Okay? Like specific goals. All right? Like if you say that you want to lose weight, put pounds down. How much do you want to lose? If you say you want to you want to save money, then put a number down. If you say that you want to get promoted, then you need to outline the steps in which you need to do to get promoted. If you say that you need to work on a relationship with yourself, then give yourself steps in which you need to be able to have a better relationship with yourself. But don't just make a plan, right, with these vague ass goals, and then you're going to wonder why next month you don't have anything to show for it. I apologize. Like, the fact that I had to get my P's and S's together kind of like disrupted my energy a little bit. You know what I mean? So like, like the last portion of this episode came out a little bit chopped and screwed. But getting your shit together is something that you're always going to be doing. You're always going to feel like you're going to have to get your shit together. You can be doing great in life. And there's always going to be that moment where you're going to say to yourself, damn, I need to get my shit together. And I can't stress this enough. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with what you're doing. You may need to realign, though. You may need to reorganize it. You may need to refocus. You may need to readjust. But ain't nothing wrong with you. And just like what I said earlier, just because everybody else seems like they got their shit together, that don't mean that their life is perfect. A lot of these motherfuckers is fake. And they just show like snapshots of the moments that they're currently in. That don't mean that their life is better than yours. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And don't forget to leave an honest review, like this episode, and share it to somebody that needs to hear it the most. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned every Monday as we bring you another episode. And lastly, don't forget to like this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, and share this podcast because this podcast was dedicated to helping you become a better version of yourself. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but just like we need more sleep, just like we need more money, we deserve to be a better version of ourselves. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.